Welcome to Woggle Guides. In this guide, we'll look at 7 quick fixes to help your Android battery last longer. Let's get straight into it. Firstly, we're going to focus on your display. Now, by a country mile, using and maintaining the screen on your phone is the single biggest power hog on any Android device. If you have the brightness on your phone turned up to 100%, you're basically carrying a flashlight in your pocket that's always on. Let's look at how we can work with this to save your phone battery. Now, I need to start by opening the Settings app shown on screen. If you can't see this on your phone, you can always tap on the Google search bar at the bottom of the screen and search for Settings. On opening the app, we're shown all the settings available on your Android phone. I'm going to scroll down a little, and I'm going to tap once on the Display and Touch option. At the very top of this new page, you'll see there's a brightness section. On my phone, the screen brightness is currently set to 68%. If I tap that, an indicator bar appears that I can then just adjust to reduce the level of brightness on my phone. Simply put, the lower this brightness percentage is, the more time your battery will last throughout the day. An alternative to managing the brightness yourself is to use the adaptive brightness option on this page. If I tap into that, the only option I'm offered is to turn it on. Doing this means the brightness on your phone screen will automatically adapt to wherever you are, whether it's outside in bright sunshine or at home in the evening. To turn this on, just tap the Use Adaptive Brightness option. Now I'm going to return to the home screen to show you one quick tip on using adaptive brightness. Sometimes this feature will make your phone too dark, so it's almost impossible to read it. If you want to quickly increase the brightness level on the phone temporarily, you can pull down from the top of the screen to open the Smart Options panel. And if I pull down once more, you can see at the very top of the screen the manual brightness slider we looked at earlier, and you can use this to easily increase the backlight on your phone. So let's now move on to the next feature on your phone that's a big drain on your battery life, the screen timeout setting. When you stop using your phone and put it down, the screen can often stay on for a whole minute or two. That's battery life, literally draining away for no reason. So again, we need to return to the Settings app. I'm going to stay in the Display and Touch section we looked at earlier, so I'll scroll down and select that option. On the new page that loads, I'll scroll down a little more, and you'll find Screen Timeout is in this menu. This setting controls exactly how long your screen stays awake after you stop touching it. Now, to save our battery, we want the screen to fall asleep as soon as possible after I finish using it. 30 seconds is the perfect sweet spot to save power without being too annoying. But some people find that's not often practical. So rather than setting the screen to time out after 10 minutes as I have, it may be wiser to choose a compromise setting, like 1 minute. Once you enter that, the change to settings will be complete. As always, you should pick what works for you. I'd suggest you try to make the screen timeout as short as possible. And sure, if you find it doesn't work for you, it's quick to come back to this setting and change it. So for the next area, I'm going to stay in the Settings app, but I'm going to use the back arrow at the top left of the page to navigate back up to the Display and Touch section we looked at earlier. So far, we've been focusing on the Android screen as a source of battery problems. But now, let's move on to look at how the ways in which you use your phone can actually drain your battery. Did you know that on a mobile phone screen, when you see the color black, the pixels on your screen are actually turned off? This means that they're not using any battery power. So the darker your screen, the less energy it uses. Luckily, many Android phones have a feature to help you do this easily, called dark mode. To turn this feature on, we need to scroll down a little on this page, and you'll see an option to turn on dark theme when you go to bed. I don't know about you, but on my phone, by bedtime, the battery has long run out, so we're going to dive into that option to take a better look at it. At the top of the new page that opens, there is an option to use dark theme. Let's tap on that toggle button to turn it on. You'll see immediately the screen changes and most importantly, large parts of it turn black, saving your battery. Before we leave this screen, however, if I scroll down a little, you'll see there are two different flavors of dark mode offered. At the moment, we've turned on the minimum setting, which whilst turning the settings app black, does not impact many other apps. So if I quickly open Gmail, you'll see it's still bright white. Returning to the settings page, if I choose to turn on the expanded version of dark mode, however, by tapping that option, you'll see that Gmail and many other apps are now displayed in dark mode, saving even more battery life. Also, yay for me for getting more than 15,000 steps today. Now, dark mode can take a little getting used to, particularly if you've not seen it before. And if it doesn't suit you, then you can revert back to normal display by returning to settings and tapping on the Use Dark Theme button. And you'll see that all our apps are now returned to their original colors. Now, before we move away from the display section in the settings app, we're going to look at one further hidden battery drain, your lock screen. When you lock your phone, it still displays the time, weather information, and any notifications you receive. This is called the always on display, which definitely is useful, but of course it's draining your battery all the time it's displaying. Now, this is another decision point for you, whether saving battery life is more important than the information that's displayed on your locked phone. Turning it off and back on is easy though. Returning to the settings app on my Android phone, I'll tap the back button once more to show our favorite display and touch section. On the page that opens, if I scroll down a little, there's a section dedicated to your lock display. You'll see that the always on display is currently turned on. Android even shows you a warning that using this will increase your battery usage. To turn it off, I'll just tap on it once. It doesn't look like anything has happened, but if I lock my phone, you'll see that the time and any notifications aren't shown. Now, a quick tip here is that if you quickly tap your phone screen, the time and any information on your display screen will be shown for 10 seconds. I think this gives the best of both worlds, as the display screen isn't on all the time and using your battery, but if you need to quickly check the time or if a message has arrived, you can do that just by tapping the screen. Let's now return to our home screen and we'll look at the next area where we can save some battery life. Now, despite the Beach Boys' promises, not all vibrations are good. Another secret little battery drainer is the vibration motor inside your phone. Every time your phone buzzes for a text message, or even that gentle thump sound you get when you type on the keyboard, this uses up your battery life. So let's look at what options we have to manage this. I don't need to tell you that we're going to go back into the settings app again. This time, however, I'm going to scroll down to the sound and vibration section. Let's tap once on this to open it. Within this new page, we're looking for another option called Vibration and Haptics. You'll see this is a little way down the page. If I tap on that option, the page that is displayed controls how vibration works on your phone. Now, this is another question about how much you're willing to compromise on your phone to save the load on your battery. At one extreme, you can just turn off all vibration on your phone by tapping on the toggle button at the top of the page. This will save the most battery life. But of course, it also means your phone won't vibrate when you get a text message or a call, or when an alarm goes off. You can still get some good savings on battery life by taking a more targeted approach to turning off vibration on your phone in this page, however. If I turn on vibration again, you'll see we can turn off vibration completely for some specific things, such as when your phone rings or when you get a message or notification. Moving the small slider to the left until the option turns grey confirms that vibration has been turned off for that feature. You can even tailor it not to vibrate with an alarm, but turn on vibration for everything else. And of course, you can just reduce it to a small vibration if you feel you still need it. Everything helps when it comes to extending your battery life. The last area to consider at the very bottom of this page is something called haptic feedback. This is basically when your phone vibrates because you do something on your phone, like typing or clicking the power button to turn it off or on. Again, the levels of vibration can be reduced or turned off completely here. However you update these settings, as always, make sure it works for you. Let's return now to our home page. and we'll look at the next settings option. We'll now turn to a particularly sneaky battery life stealer that operates in the background of your phone, and often you don't even know it's using your battery. Your Android phone is constantly checking your location. Even when you put your phone down, some apps can still be using your location every few minutes, even if you've closed them hours ago. That's a lot of battery life, literally just draining away for no real reason. This is quick to fix, however, and of course we'll pop into the Settings app to do that. We're going to go into a different section this time. If I scroll down, you'll see there's an option called Location, some way down the page. Let's tap on that once to open it. The page that loads confirms that location checking is currently turned on for my phone. If location is turned off for your phone, then you're all good. And rest easy that this is not impacting on your battery life. A word of caution about turning off location services completely on your phone. Some apps, like Google Maps, need location services to work well, particularly for driving or directions. So be cautious about turning it off completely if you use these types of apps regularly. You do have many options about how you can tailor location services, however, to make sure it's working for you. We can do that by scrolling down a little on this page and looking at the App Location Permissions option in the menu. You'll see that my phone confirms that 42 of the 104 apps on my phone are currently checking my location. As you can imagine, this will drain anyone's battery over time. Let's dive into that option by tapping it once. This new page shows a breakdown of how apps are accessing your location. Some are doing it all the time, whilst others are only doing it when the app is open on your screen. We should be most worried about those that check your location all the time, shown at the top of the page. To save our battery, we want to tell those apps to only check your location when you're actively using them. You can do that just by tapping into each app. And from the location access options shown, tap once on Allow Only while using the app. No need to confirm anything else. You can now just tap the back arrow in the top left of the page to make that change. And you'll see that the app has now been removed from the group that is allowed to access your location all the time. You should review all of the apps in this group and update each to best suit your needs. You may find for apps such as fitness trackers, it's more convenient to leave location services on all the time. But as always, you should make the choice that best suits you. And worst case, if you do turn it off and find you're missing the convenience of it later, then you can always return to this page to turn it back on. Let's return to our home screen one last time, and we'll look at my final tip to save your battery life. Even when you do apply all the battery saving changes we've talked about in this guide, some days you just need to use your phone a lot. So inevitably, you end up low on battery. Never fear, however, Android has a built-in battery survival mode that can help you to stretch out the remaining battery life for as long as you need it. Now, you should only really consider this as your emergency option if you genuinely are at the last 10 or 15% of battery life. It's quick to turn on, and you'll be pleased to hear that for once, you don't even have to go into the Settings app to do that. To access this emergency mode, swipe down from the very top of your screen. The quick settings options are then shown. I want to see all of these quick setting options, however, so I'm going to pull down from the top of the screen once more. You'll find an option in the list of settings shown called Battery Saver. It may not be in exactly the same place on your phone, but if you can't see it on this pull-down view, you may need to swipe left to show more options. If you still can't find it, check out this Woggle guide that explains how to add it. My Battery Saver option is shown on the first page of Quick Settings. So let's return to it, and I'll tap on this once to turn it on. You'll see the screen immediately turns to a dark theme to reduce the use of your battery. This also tells your phone to instantly cut out everything non-essential it's doing in the background. So no location tracking, and your phone won't be checking for incoming information, like texts and email messages, as regularly as normal. If you pick up your phone and open any of these messaging apps, however, you can force a check just by pulling down from the top of the screen. This will force a check for the latest messages. And that's it. 7 simple changes you can make today to increase the battery life on your Android phone. If you have found this Woggle guide helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more clear and easy tech tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.